Well, hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Well, today's an interesting day. We were meant to be playing Nightmare Raids, but our alliance seemingly has had a bug or a problem or whatever, and we didn't even switch to the Nightmare Raids, but who knows, that might be a blessing in disguise. Whilst my alliance leadership is hopefully trying to open a ticket with Kabam, there seem to be some issues with the said Nightmare Raids. Keep in mind, I do not necessarily agree with all the posts in here, especially the ones about like Weapon X or, overall just Nightmare Raids being difficult, but there are some things that are quite obviously bugged and a problem. So, the biggest one and the most obvious one is that Korg is doing damage back and is purifying everything as well. They initially replied that they are looking into it, and obviously there are loads of people super angry with the Korg fight. But this must be one of the most damned replies to the thread. For Loki is doing Nightmare Raids and has not had any issues thus far. Perictor and Kitty have been the MVPs. I have been chatting with the folks in charge of raids to see if any issues went unaccounted for. But they already reported you the issue. Korg is meant to have 0 chance to purify and a nerfed damage back on his thorns. Neither one of those things happened. Korg's purifying his signature ability has been reduced to 0. Korg's thorns have been tuned down. Well, they haven't. They're dealing 11-13k on mediums. And not to mention the fact that Korg is on the type of nodes that require you to throw mediums, and not many great champion options there. Now, there are options, but that has to be an awful reply. It's like, for Loki found a way to deal with the bugs, so shut up and do it too. But yeah, 13k taunts isn't an issue. Love the humbleness and contrition. Okay, Korg's taunts may be currently bugged, overtuned as I said. Again, what about purification though? Not just the taunts. Overtuned. As I spoke with the team and they are actively investigating it. Additionally, to this point, Nightmare Raids were intentionally designed to be very, very hard. This was always the intention and advertised as such immediately. And there we go. Now, I do kind of agree, for instance, with the level of difficulty, and the raids can still be done. For instance, Wolverine Weapon X currently is healing like 19 or 20 million health at the beginning of the fight. And you're clearly kind of meant to use a heal block champion, somebody that accesses heal block quickly, somebody like, for instance, Omega Sentinel, or has access to poison, nerf the healing, or something of the sort. So it's not necessarily meant that a ton of champions may attempt those. For instance, the way our alliance and our BAL group approaches the fights is that we bring in champions and we are each mainly responsible about downing one of the champions based on who has the most appropriate champ. For instance, somebody's dealing with Korg, then it might be Kitty that you want to be using, or it might be whoever else. Then somebody's dealing with Weapon X, then it might be the person with Omega Sentinel, whoever has the heal block champion. You guys get the point. The point of it is that we're not all fighting all the champions at the very least equally. Mainly the job is just to get some charges, and then one person takes over and clears most of the champion, and then he sits back for the next champions. Either way, that is to say that, for instance, Weapon X having a massive region, that's, in my opinion, not cool, but doable and fine, because the raids are meant to be difficult. And with the Korg, I would kind of sit back and not necessarily, make it a big fuss about it, unless Kabam themselves have said that they will reduce his purify chance, which they haven't, and nerf down. If Kabam hadn't said that, I would be in the camp of players, okay, I'm going to try my best to deal with this. But since Kabam did specifically say that Korg will have no purify chance, and that his taunts will be nerfed, that creates expectation in player base, and there is absolutely no one else but Kabam responsible for actually doing what they said. And that's the funny thing is, because this was also picked up and pointed out to Kabam as the raids map was approaching, because people apparently then, a week ago, noticed that, you know, Korg seems to have his full signature ability. Isn't it funny to you that you refer to the difficulty in the moment where Kabam themselves have made a mistake? Exactly. It's not necessarily a question of being hard. Most specifically it is. Kabam said there will be no purification chance for Korg, and Thorn's damage back is going to get nerfed. Neither one of those happened, and now they're starting to talk about difficulty. So that is what I personally would find an issue with. I think it's just text bug. Okay. Very hard and impossible are two different things. Oh, I wouldn't say it's impossible. I haven't seen people towards the top, but it's mainly with the purgatory cheese. But I think it's needless to say that people are quite pissed off right now. People are not particularly happy. Thank you. You know, the team has identified an issue with Weapon X signature ability bypassing the always forward node. There you go. So that was bugged. We think we have fixed that, and we are currently working on pushing that through. Okay, so Weapon X will not regen more health than we are allowed to do to him. But it's still Korg. And yeah, no, I mean, this is exactly what I expected, honestly. Like, at this point, it's more so an expectation. Every time something happens, something new comes to the game, I kind of expect it to go like this. Kabam says one thing, how it's going to work, they absolutely do not test it, and it comes bugged and broken to the game. Players are up in arms, and then they spend next half a day, you know, struggling to fix it, and maybe they do, and maybe it takes a week or two. So again, on a personal note, I'm not even like super mad. I mean, it should be, but I just can't muster the here anymore. I just think it's, you know, comical at this point. Like, you know, it's not like they had to make that many alterations. It's not like they didn't have time to do that. It's not like it's like a massive difficult thing. It's just the fact that nobody fucking bothered. It genuinely gets the type of feeling that the way Kabam makes this game is similar how I go to the store without a list, where I'm just like, nah, you know, I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna grab this. Did I grab everything that I need? They're like, yeah, I think so. And then I come home and I realize that, for instance, you know, I didn't bring in milk, which was the main reason why I went to the store in the first place. It seems that Kabam is, you know, paying just about as much attention or effort to kind of like, we'll get to it if we remember, type of thing. So, I don't know. And again, this, you know, it's not me just being overly negative at all. If anything, I'm trying to find the levity and the humorous side of something that is catastrophically bad. Because again, this isn't something that they fucked up, clearly. It is something they just forgot to do. And it speaks volumes about, you know, the diligence of their work. The testing, the checks, the everything. And also, you know, replying in a manner where it's like, oh, our lines did it. It's like, never you mind that we know for a fact the rates are bugged because, you know, Korg hadn't gotten adjusted. The first initial instance of this is like, well, my team is doing fine. It's like, you're not even engaging with the idea that they're like, oh, no, our team's doing fine. So, you know, what's the big fuss about? It's like, yeah, we might have forgotten to adjust Korg and, you know, nerf his torn damage and that he seems to be bypassing the always forward node, that is Weapon X, and still manages to heal more than he should. It's like, never you mind that those are legitimately easy to confirm bugs that people have reported. It's more like, well, you can still do it despite the bugs. Fucking clueless. But that said, hope you guys are enjoying the raids. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all been